Hey, it's Lacey Broussard, and this is the Multiorgasmic Mama podcast. From sex and motherhood, birth and relationships, communication and intimacy building, and Taoism and Tantra, we explore topics such as self-care, self-pleasure, body image, jade eggs, the feminine cycles, creativity in business, and modern spirituality. The Multiorgasmic Mama is a place to come for true stories and transformational advice on how to be a mama and a multiorgasmic woman too. Welcome. Today we have Miss Cori Watson on today. Hey, Cori, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Awesome. Cori has been in the sex, love, relationship coaching training with me, and I love her so much. She's a dear friend and sister, and she has such an incredible story, and a lot of the work we do is similar. So, Cori, I want you to tell us all about yourself, who you serve, and what you do, and why you're so freaking awesome.
Well, since your podcast is about mothers, I should start off by saying I'm a mother of four kids, 3 teenagers and 1 tween, I guess. They're all really closely spaced. For work, my primary job, I am a myofascial release massage therapist. So I love the human body and fascinated by anatomy, physiology, movement, and all that stuff. And my newest endeavor, I guess, breaking out into the online world, doing the coaching course with you, is being a sexual alchemy coach, actually, for mothers. Mostly burnt out, depressed. Not like clinically hugely depressed, but just like burnt out, exhausted mothers wanting to figure out what it is that they want, and just using the energy, pretty much, of sexual energy to get stuff flowing in their body again, to find out what else fills us up besides motherhood. As you know, it can be all consuming at times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, tell us what got you into this work and how you kind of went from being just strictly into massage into this type of work.
Well, I guess it weaves, the two kind of weave together. I actually started massage back when I was 22 for the same reasons that I went back to it, is just because I love the human body and how it works. And so I'm definitely in service to the human body. And I got into myofascial release in 2011, and it's a much slower, gentler massage that makes you question what the hell's going on, because it's not like a typical massage. So that actually was the key to learning how to feel in my body, because when you're going through training, obviously we practice on one another throughout our seminars and our schooling and stuff, and so you learn how to feel at a deeper level. And so I've been working with that, and basically changing people's perceptions of what massage is. So that's been a challenge in itself. But what I noticed with clients and whatnot, I do a lot of work in the abdomen and in the pelvic bowl, just more so to when people come in with shoulder pain or neck pain or whatever, my go-to place is usually the pelvis, just to work on. And because my own sensitivity in my fingers gets tuned into the human body, you could start to feel fascial restrictions. And so many fascial restrictions actually on women pull into their vagina. And clearly, as a massage therapist, it's out of our scope of practice to go release those. So you want to have these conversations with people, but the lines between massage and sex are so blurred that we often leave any conversation of the vagina, or if it's men with their testicles and their penis, we leave it out of the equation. And so we're working on all parts of the bodies, clearly not the genitals, and with women, not the breasts. So we leave these ones untouched, untalked about, unless the client asks a question or two, which happens next to never. Everybody's just there for therapeutic. People say, oh, I carry my stress here, but nobody gets specific about what their stress is. So as a body worker, you're left kind of in the dark about what your stress is. And so that stress that they have never fully comes to the surface.
Yeah.
A lot of women come in with hip pain. And again, you can see that the restrictions aren't on the outside of the hip. It doesn't matter what I do to the outside. And for me, I was looking for different ways to be like, how can I help people get more in touch with their body? Where do they want to, when do they want to talk about their genitals? When do you want to talk about the fact that your vagina is actually probably either too tight or not strong enough, that all the restrictions, your hips are pulling the ligaments, the tendons, and everything, without you thinking I'm being creepy massage therapist. And what happened parallel to all of this finding out stuff is actually with my cervix. When I was 23, I had abnormal pap smears. So I'd gotten done the whole doctor route and had the biopsies and the cryotherapy and everything. And it was horrible. And my cervix was, as they say in the medical world, friable for many years and whatnot, even through my pregnancy. So there'd always be some bleeding and whatnot. But as I got through more massage, I started to find and research the body-mind connection and emotions with everything. And my cervix issue, I went 13 years with a normal pap smear, and then it came back. And it was all kind of coincidental how it came back. So I knew there was a connection between when I had it at 36 and when I had it at 23. So in the body-mind connection, the cervix is kind of like the window to your sexuality. And I, for myself, needed to deconstruct my sexuality, because there was no way I wanted anybody to freeze my cervix again or do the LEAP procedure or cut anything out. So I insisted on those, like, we'll wait and see, and I'll go home and I'll work on my body-mind connection. And that's what I did. I mean, I started to like take a look. I'm like, okay, this is cervix. What are all my sexual beliefs? Like, and I started just challenging everything that would come up. And so I was changing different things. I was challenging myself, like, okay, so nude pictures to my guys. So those, like, I never thought, well, why would anybody want to send nude pictures of yourself? Like, come on. And then I was like, don't be so judgmental. Why don't you try it first before you knock it? So I did different things like that. I used to be really hesitant to even say the word pussy. So it'd be like, because I've got such a clinical mind, it's always like in clinical terms, vagina and penis and testicles, blah, blah, blah. And so there's never any like dirty talk coming out of my mouth or sexual talk as far as that. So I challenged myself. I would spend like a long time trying to like compose like a text to be like, not be disgusted with myself, what I was actually writing, and then asking myself, why am I disgusted with this? Like, what is so wrong with this? What is this? So I kind of went on this other sexual journey, which opened up a lot of stuff between me and my partner as well. So I think I went completely off there. I'm not really even sure where I lost you.
No, I love hearing all of that. That's amazing about how, you had the abnormal paps, and then that kind of led you to be like, oh, how can I heal this without going the doctor route again once it came back? That happened too, but it hadn't come back, thank God.
and it didn't come back. Like the first round I did sexuality, my pap in 6 months, it came back normal. I was like, okay. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to do another one in 6 months. I'm like, okay, cool, because I'm doing good. And then it came back abnormal again. And so then I went like to a deeper level and started uncovering more stuff and figuring out, where are my emotions? Because my myofascial work, I also know that your emotions are stored in your body. And so I'm like, where are my emotions? And I mean, I found a huge body-mind piece that I had left back actually when my father had passed away when I was 20. And it was almost like when I made the connection of what I did with my emotions there when I was having sex with my boyfriend at the time, and how I just shut everything down, and that it was almost like a whole whack of like energy came back to me. So definitely finding that emotional component that I didn't even know at the time that emotions, like that sex should be like some big emotional connection with your partner, I guess.
Okay, let's dive into that real quick, because I think a lot of people don't understand that how emotions are stored in the body, or how that's even scientifically a thing. But in episode 21, I talked about releasing guilt and shame from the body. And one way that you can do that is by feeling, like recognizing that it's there, then sounding and moving that emotion out through the somatic layer. But that's so huge. Like it takes a huge understanding of what's going on in the body and how that gets stored there. So could you explain that just a little bit, how emotions are stored inside of the body and why, or how we can express them and get them out?
How they are stored in the body, because your emotional mind, your thinking mind, your rational mind are all connected to your body. And it's not like we can cut open the brain and be like, oh, well, here's where the emotions are. And and here's where my memories are. Those are all stored throughout your tissues, throughout your body. And you see a lot of that in myofascial work, that as a practitioner, we just facilitate we're just a facilitator. Basically, we put our hands on somebody and get their tissues into this position, and emotions and my theory is always like, whatever comes up, comes up. If you feel like crying, you cry. You feel like stretching your arms out, stretch your arms out. It's not a typical massage where you just keep yourself locked on a table. The body actually has a mind of its own. And so everything that you're taking in throughout the day is being stored somewhere in you. I mean, you have no idea, but as far as sexual stuff, you do actually take in energy through your vagina. I mean, you look out to the animal kingdom and that's how they greet each other. Like, let me stick my nose in your butt to see what's up, right? And I mean, that's, you see a dog greeting. It's because they have all their senses back there, their primal senses. So
Thought about that, but I love it.
So yeah, I mean, I totally look to animals to see, like, to find the correlation, because we always forget, like, that we're conditioned to be like not primal anymore. So yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah. So I mean, how can you not then, like, yeah, you've got your underwear on, your pants on, your skirt on, whatever. You think that that's a barrier to the outside energy of the world as you're passing on the street. It's not. Like, you take it in. You take it in as much as you take it in through your eyes and your ears and your nose and everything. So it's just another felt sense place is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, one more question about massage, and then we'll dive into something else that I want to get into. But do you ever see that there being a time or a place in society where we could actually talk about what's going on in the pelvis and the genitals and the tension and the stress that we hold there? Because you were just saying, obviously the lines are really blurred between you can't do that as a practicing massage therapist, but we also know in the tantra world there's penis and pussy massage, yoni and lingam massage, and how that can help release stored tension and everything. And I'm just wondering if there's ever going to be like a bridge between the more woo stuff and the science.
I would hope so. Like, I've noticed, like, in this last year, as I'm taking the course, I've gotten much more confident. I mean, I'm still talking in clinical terms, but to be able to explain the connection of, like, here's where all the attachment sites for your inner thighs are. They're actually in your vagina. I can't actually reach them. Mm-hmm. Like, if you'd like to go home, I'll talk them through. This is what you'll do, or maybe your partner will help you going super, super slow, but there's parts we can't reach. And I mean, because the vagina is an open space, a person can actually go in and massage themselves. Mm-hmm. And you can actually relieve a lot of pain by doing that. Yeah. And there is, like, I learned my myofascial through John Barnes, and so he does have a women's health seminar where you do learn internal massage. It's just the regulating bodies. Mm-hmm. Only only, like, I've never heard of a massage regulating body that gives the green light to do vaginal massage. Mostly it's pelvic floor specialists that are doing the internal work that have the green light and the insurance to back them up to do that. And then I don't even know how much emotional component they're doing, or they're just sticking to the physical one. So hopefully in the future that there'll be like a set of therapists that it's not shameful to go and get a vaginal massage, where you can safely, it's not about actually sex or orgasm or anything. It's about releasing stored emotions within your vagina and tension and doing that. That's, it's not viewed upon as like this shameful, dirty sex. It's actually therapeutic.
Exactly. I mean, the first probably 10 times I received yoni massage, it was super intense because there's so much stuff that came up for me. But it was because I had so much to release. I had so much emotional baggage stored in there, you know. It was just but yeah, I don't know how that healing could take place on a wide scale for women, you know, that would want that, but they don't otherwise have access to that kind of healing. So it was just we thought about that.
The other option is, like with my partner, sex is as therapeutic for me as it is pleasurable. Like, like I'll be like, oh my God, like that was actually like far more beneficial, the emotional releases, than if I had actually gone and seen my massage therapist, because obviously he can take me to a deeper level that I've learned to go to, and to trust him, and to do all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And when I get stressed, the first place that I notice, okay, now I'm super sensitive here, very, very body sensitive and aware. But the first place I notice stress is my right at my right vulva on the right side. It starts to tense up. And I know. And that's how I know. I'm like, wow, okay, I really need to chill out right now. Like, I have to slow down, because this is the spot, like right in my right groin almost, all the way to the vulva that tenses up. So yeah, I mean, I can only imagine how much stuff is unconsciously stored there for women. And we just don't go there. But speaking of all of this, that clearing out all of this stuff is what really opened me up to becoming multi-orgasmic. And that's what I really want to talk to you about today.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of my journey into it, was that I had to clear so much shit first. And I had, you know, I did yoni massage, lots of that. I did jade egg, lots of that. And I had cleared so much junk from my body that I was finally able to start feeling pleasure. And then it was just like, it poured in. And then pleasure was so easily accessible after that. But I'm curious about your journey into becoming multi-orgasmic.
Definitely, I would say clearing out the junk kind of too, and the toxic thoughts or the views, or where did I learn this or where did I learn that, was big of it. The other part, I like made orgasm irrelevant. Like, I made that not the purpose of us having sex. Like, okay, we're going to have sex, but it's not, I'm not going to like call it successful if I did or didn't have an orgasm, because quite frankly, I wasn't orgasmic when we first got together. I mean, I felt really small ones filled, but it wasn't anything like it is now. So yeah, like make orgasm irrelevant. And I took everything that I'd learned in my myofascial about like learning how to feel, like take your foot off the brakes. In our training, we were taught over and over to repeat to yourself, it's safe to feel. And then use your breath work, like just breathe. It's safe to feel, and then breathe out. And because I was doing it in a therapeutic setting with all these therapists, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be here for 12 days doing this, I'm totally going to like let go, and I'm not going to try to analyze what they're doing or why they've got that pressure or why they have their hand there. It's like, breathe, learn to feel. It's okay to feel. It's okay to let go. It's okay to feel. And then I would just wait for even the smallest sensation to come up anywhere, like anywhere at all. And that's in the therapeutic setting. So when it came time to sex, I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell him how to touch me. I'm not going to tell him to go here or to go there, because that actually keeps your partner in their head. If you're constantly giving directions, it keeps you in your head and it keeps them in their head. And then each time he gets to a place, say, where you need him to touch, you've got to start all over the feeling process. Mm-hmm. So if you just, like, I would just encourage, I'm like, just touch me whichever way feels good to you. And I'm just going to like pick up different sensations. And so that's how it started for me, is I let him touch me however he wanted. If at one point he hit me something that was annoying, I'd be like, okay, as long as it wasn't like for example, my G-spot, I don't want anybody to go fast, like just go super slow, like, because it's right next to my bladder and I don't need a bladder infection. It's more so the only reason that this causes more problems. It feels great at the time, but afterwards my body will like reject it and give me a bladder infection to tell me how pissed off it was. But otherwise it was like, okay, just touch me however you want, and I'm just going to feel sensations. And he did that. And this level of trust between our two bodies, I'll say, because I kept my head out of it, slowly over time started to build up, and I would just focus on whatever sensations. If they were in my pussy, great. If I felt his hand on my back, well, what's that sensation I feel? Oh, I feel like maybe a little like twinge, or like an itch, or like cool, or like, oh, did that just feel like a trickle of water down my back? Interesting. And so it wasn't ever genital focused. It wasn't like I'm waiting for this buildup of orgasms. So
yeah.
And mostly it's like the chatty head. The chatty head is, I think, used to get me into trouble all the time. It certainly got me in trouble in massage school, because I'd be like, well, what are they doing? Like, how is this working? Like, I wanted to just figure everything out. And so in sex, prior to my current partner, I'd be like, well, what's he doing? Why is he touching me like that? That's dumb. Like, this is stupid. I feel nothing. Like, you're just irritating me. Like, maybe move your hand, or like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, which is probably why so much advice on sex is, you got to drop the goal of it. But it's so true. You really just have to drop any expectations and goals of what's going to happen. And that allows for new experiences to happen, because if you're expecting it to go one way, then it's probably going to go that way. So
yeah,
if you want a new experience, you have to drop the expectations.
Yeah, and it's so much about connection. Like, first and foremost, you need to be connected to your own body.
Yeah.
And he needs to be connected to his own body, which means you actually have to stop directing him. Because otherwise you pull him out of his body and into his head, trying to do the routine that you need. Because ultimately, I think men want to make us happy. We think that it's all about their pleasure, but I think they actually want to make us happy.
Oh, absolutely. I totally believe that too. Yeah, they definitely want to make you happy, people. Otherwise, they wouldn't want to be with you.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, go ahead.
I'm wondering if you could kind of lay out in a step-by-step way what a woman could do that's listening to help her open up to becoming multi-orgasmic. Say she's already orgasmic. I know there's some women that are pre-orgasmic, meaning they haven't experienced orgasm yet, but there's kind of a whole slew of things you can do just to get to becoming orgasmic. But once you are, how can we become multi-orgasmic? So let's start there. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I like step by step. I'm not a step-by-step person.
Okay. Well, maybe some suggestions then.
You know what? Actually, I suggest people, if they do, is actually to practice outside. Get yourself ready outside of sex and learn how to feel in your body before you ever get to the bedroom. so that everything you've learned how to feel in your body, you can practice whenever you want. And number one, like, yeah, I'm a massage therapist, is get yourself to different massage therapists. Don't even tell them, like, just tell them where your sore spots are, and then again, practice it's okay to let go, and then notice what sensations are coming up as they touch you. Of course, I'm all for myofascial because it's so slow that you almost have to sit there and wonder, like, what's happening. And it really messes with your head at first. So that's a good one. The other one that I love to do is I like to engage my 5 senses, almost like 5 senses training outside of the bedroom. So, I mean, the best way to do that is to like knock one of your senses kind of irrelevant. So I'll like go grocery shopping to a super busy place and put in my headphones and listen to music. And then try to navigate your way through that without hearing the clanging of like other customers and stuff. And make sure it's music that you like, so that you almost want to dance through the aisles, so that you feel the music from your earphones like flowing through you, but your eyes have to be a little bit more alert because you don't have your ears going on. Mm-hmm. To help with my sense of touch, I like to walk around the house with my eyes closed and feel everything. And I will fold towels like with my eyes closed, so that I have to feel the edges kind of line up to one another, and just notice what I feel the walls, or to like move slowly. Can you feel when you're close to an edge? Can you not? Like, it just changes everything. You want to make it really challenging, put your earphones on and close your eyes and walk around the house and see how well you do. Yeah. I like to smell things. I love to take my partner's clothes and like just every now and then like just take big whiffs of his smell, so that I continue to like the smell of him. Yeah. And so I'm always aware of it. So then even if him just walking into a room just will light up my sense of smell, so that, you know, like when you're obviously around a person a lot, you kind of forget what they smell like because it just becomes normal and whatnot. So to consciously always be like getting that smell, and then engaging in other smells, like really stop and smell the roses if you're walking by. Do you know what I mean? slow down, stop and smell the roses. Or smell whatever smells appealing to you. If you like essential oils, smell those. And then really, like, when I really want to engage in a smell, is like smell and then think of my pussy at the same time. So I'm bringing the smell all the way through my body. And it's an energetic way to just keep all the channels open. I do some breath work. So the connected breath work that we've learned, which I don't know if you've taught any of your people, but if not, then people hopefully can go to your page and the other stuff about learning. I guess the podcast is too short to do that. Another one I like to do is what I call lazy meditation. So even any meditations that are sexual meditations. So like if you have some meditations you put out there, right? Have you done that?
As often as no, I give them to my clients.
Okay.
My paid coaching clients, yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes I really didn't actually feel like, as part of my self-pleasure practice, I really didn't feel like touching myself. Mm-hmm. So I just put the meditation on and I just listen, and then just notice sensations in my body, and just listen to somebody directing me, but just giving my head permission to like feel and to hear what it is that I need to do and stuff. And that's done wonders, actually, because my ears have become multiorgasmic when I'm with my partner. So I'm like, clearly I've been listening to a lot of like sexual meditation stuff, because whenever he comes near me to talk, I just feel different waves shoot through me.
Wow, that's interesting.
He could talk about the weather, I'm pretty sure, at this point, and I'd be like, I don't even know actually how that happened, but that's been something new in the last year since I've been listening to the meditations for self pleasure from Layla or from any other things that I've picked up along the way. So
Wow, that's cool. I haven't heard anybody talk about that.
so now it's something new for you to try.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Eargasms. This is a new one to add to the list.
Orgasms. Yeah. It totally, the first time it happened, I was like, whoa. I mean, I didn't even know that. I didn't know you could become more multi-orgasmic, actually. It's just, like you said, peel the layers back and
then
peel the layers back.
It's like you realize that your natural state is multi-orgasmic. Like the more conditioning you peel off of you, the more shit you get rid of out of, which is just the conditioning and outdated programming and belief systems. You realize that, oh, wow, actually it's just normal to feel orgasmic all the time. That's what I've come to, that's a truth that I've come to find for myself anyhow, is that the clearer I become of the conditioning, the more accessible pleasure and orgasmic states are. And then it just becomes like a walking vibration of it,
Yeah, I was, I was thinking about our interview this morning and I couldn't help but think of like the ocean.
Yeah.
And when I say like make orgasm irrelevant, like the ocean has such because that's to me, being multi-orgasmic feels like different waves and strength the waves roll in each time. Like it's not like every time's going to be the same. And it's not like, just because that was like giving me orgasms yesterday doesn't mean, I mean, he can go to that exact same spot. I'll be like, there's nothing there today. There's no waves happening, but there's waves over here. And I thought of like the ocean and how you can go like 10 miles down the road and the waves are completely different based on the weather pattern or what's happening below the surface or the shoreline. Is it rocky? Is it sand? Is there new houses being built, and how the waves are always ever changing? And for women to understand that what's multi-orgasmic like for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be multi-orgasmic for another person, but like just remove the barriers to everything. Mostly just shut up the chatter in your head. Like find a mantra, say it over and over and over again. Like,
Yeah. I love what you said about it being different every time, because that's been true for me too. When I expect, or if I'm like, oh, I want to reach, different orgasmic states through this route, I go and try it and it doesn't work. I'm like, damn it, it didn't work today.
Yeah.
Guess we're gonna have to try something else. Yeah, it's also very dependent on my cycle too. It's different times of the month. You're susceptible to different experiences, so you can't always expect that just because it worked once doesn't mean it's gonna happen again, because we're women.
Yes.
And that's how women's bodies work. Sorry, men.
That
you got us figured out. You don't, and you never will.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of the reason I say too is let him touch you the way that feels good to him, so he becomes more confident with your body. Like as you go to a massage therapist, you expect them, because we're massaging all day, that we know what we're doing with the human body, and we do. But if you start telling me, like if I have a client come in and tell me like where they need me to massage exactly and what kind of pressure they have, I'm like, this massage is so going to suck for you, because I need to stay up in my head to figure out what you want next. And so I'm so concerned about getting it right for you that I forget that I'm actually know what I'm doing, and I lose the connection to my own body, which means the flow of energy that flows through me to my clients doesn't get to happen, because I'm all up in my head trying to be like, okay, well, this person wants this and they want me to do it this way, and they want this much pressure. And so if this is what we're doing to men, well, no wonder we're not happy in bed. Like, let them like build up a confidence with us.
Wow, that's
And
so good. Yeah.
yeah.
I love that correlation. I never thought about that either. You're giving me all sorts of light bulb moments going on. Totally guilty of going to the massage therapist and you're like, you have to touch this spot. Please get this knot out. Like, I can't go another minute with this thing in there, you know?
Yeah.
And I have had a few where they've been way more gentle and, you know, I wasn't trying to direct anything. And those are definitely the most relaxing.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you have to take like everything you've learned in sex and then just like take it to the massage therapist, be like, I'm just going to go and whatever happens, happens.
Right?
It's like, well, you know, maybe not have orgasms at the massage therapist. That's not so.
Okay. I have a story to tell. I would never, I can't believe I'm about to say this on my fucking podcast here, but here goes. Yes, I had an orgasm, a full body orgasm, getting an abdominal massage like just a few weeks ago. And that poor massage therapist probably had no idea what to think. I was like so embarrassed, but at the same time I was like, you know what, fuck it, this is just gonna happen and I can't stop it right now.
Yeah, and there's sometimes you can't happen. Like, I mean, to my knowledge, I don't know if anybody's had an orgasm, nor do they like make it known to me, but the different sensations that come up in a massage could be like anything.
Yeah.
My problem with becoming multi-orgasmic is actually at the dentist more than anything. So I have my mouth open for like a long time getting dental work. And usually the dentist, because I've got 4 children, it's like a day at the spa where I don't have to worry about anybody but myself. But as it so happened that I just would allow myself to just relax. And the longer I just sat there relaxed with the dental dam on and drills and everything going, I'm like, oh dear God, is that a massage? Is that an orgasm, Dildy? And I was like, oh, this isn't good. This is not good. This is not the place where you want your body to start like releasing, to be like, okay, this is not cool. So there's downfalls to being multi-orgasmic for sure.
Now that totally ups the cake of my abdominal massage full body orgasm experience, Cori. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you are the fucking queen. That is awesome.
But it's I mean, it's rather amusing, and I didn't mean for it to happen. And but and I mean, I've spent my life in a dentist chair where I've always like just like numbed out, like turned off the pain, no feeling, because you're going to be sitting there for a few hours. So it's always been like bracing for any sensations. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, mine wasn't so much being vocal, but it's like my body just starts moving and it shakes. So it's like you can't stop or control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, even if you were on my table and that happened, whether you wanted to call it an orgasm or not, I'd be like, that's great because your body is releasing stuff.
Releasing something. Yeah.
So they can call. Yeah. So I would just be like, whatever, your body's just releasing. It needs to shake. It needs to tremble. It needs to do whatever. And whatever it's releasing, who cares? Right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And yeah.
That was epic. Thanks for sharing that. I'm glad we got to talk about that.
Yes. Orgasms of the dentist. It's only happened like once, where it's the big one, because now I've been prepared like to go to the dentist. Like, this isn't happening again. This is
Don't ever tell them.
Yeah, do not. Yeah.
You might have to find a new dentist.
It is, yeah.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much. That was awesome. I'm not going to ask you your one tip or trick for becoming a multi-orgasmic mama, because I think we covered like at least 20 by now. So
yeah, just the other one is just trust. You know what? Actually, there is one other one.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Lose the timeline. Like, get rid of the timeline of I want to be multi-orgasmic in 6 months. I want to be multi-orgasmic in a year, or like I want it in 3 months. Like, I'm taking this course and it's 6 weeks long, and damn it, I'm going to have my first orgasm by the end of this. because the body does not work that way.
Yeah.
And your mind putting pressure on it makes it go into hiding that much more. And you actually need to track anything, whether it's a business or a pattern of a body. You need several seasons of cycles, right? You don't know a winter pattern of an area until you've lived there for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And so there might be a particular pattern with your orgasms, and you saying, well, I need to have it in like 6 weeks or like 6 months. I got to be multi-orgasmic. You're going to start to be like, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And you put all this pressure on yourself. And so just also lose the timeline when you're there, and just trust that inch by inch you get closer to getting there. And your body does it on its own timeline, because if my body would have woken up like this in my early 20s, I'm sure I wouldn't be a mother. I never would have gotten married. I never would have done anything. I might have just, gone and had sex for a living and made some money, because but I'm actually super, super glad that it didn't wake up until like 37, 38 versus my earlier years, because my head's better able to deal with it. And I also know that a deep connection with my partner is just as important as all the orgasms, where when I was younger, I might have just thought, hey, it's the orgasms, it's not the connection, right? So
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's so important.
yeah.
It's been a pleasure to have you on. I appreciate all of your deep wisdom and knowledge of the body.
Yeah.
The awesome stories.
Yeah, it should keep people talking. So maybe you'll have more dentist stories pop up.
Perfect.
Sure not.
All right. Thanks, Cori. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.